Hi, good morning, everybody. And what's today's topic? Coffee and questions. We're going to talk about this 20 bin medium portable parts storage case sold by Harbor Freight and whether or not it's a good value. It's around $9. That's without that 20% coupon, and that's without them being on sale. Initially, I would tell you no. I would tell you and show you something better here in just a sec that I think is far better that I own. I was out there, we were looking around, and I saw people buying these. And I have, like I told you, a few friends. We all hang out. We go out there together and we do different things coming up on the weekend. And he bought some of these. He bought like 3 of them. And he ran into the same problems that you'll read about in the complaints on, the reviews here. It's got 1,264 reviews. All these wonderful 5-star, hey, they're the best thing, all this stuff. There's 2 things I didn't like about them. They're very flimsy, and when you feel them, you're going to notice they're kind of cheap. And somebody goes, well, what do you want for, a parts bin? Well, it is what it is. But for like $9, I thought it would be a little bit better in quality. The other thing everybody complains about is the label on there. So they said, well, it's almost impossible to get the label off. If you look really hard in the picture above, you're going to see that kind of shadowed outline on the lid. That label is like on there like concrete or something. It's just so difficult to try to get off. And you can use solvents and you can use steel wool and all this stuff, but you're going to mark the heck out of that, semi see-through surface. And a friend of mine goes, well, you can buy, like this goop off or this goof off stuff, this solvent, and soak it and play around with it, and you probably could eventually get it off. Okay, so you're going to spend another $3 or more, to buy something like that. And I don't think it's worth it, and I don't want to spend my time trying to get a label off that should really easily just come off. So I hope the people at Harbor Freight are watching and listen to this and do something about it, because it's a very common complaint among people. So no, I would kind of steer away from this. I'm going to show you something that's a far better deal, and I think I own about 8 or 10 of these now. So let me change the picture, let me show you what I have, and I think it's just better quality, better deal for you. You can buy them online too, I believe, and they'll ship to you. If not, they're at Home Depot and they're great value. Here, let me just change the picture. Okay, so these are the ones that are sold by Home Depot, HDX, 15 compartment interlocking small parts organizers. So you're paying about 10 bucks for these. That's $5 a piece. They are much better value and they are much better constructed. It's thicker plastic. Yes, they're see-through. The other thing I like with these interlocking compartments is you can take little plastic dividers out, add them back in, make the, the little cubbies in there, different sizes. And I've stored large nuts and bolts and washers in one of them. I've got nothing but screws, like let's say drywall screws, different sizes, and steel screws in another. And I keep all of those small fasteners separated out in these. So it's a great way to keep things organized and keep them up out of the way. When I need it, I just grab this like a small suitcase, put it on the workbench, open it up, sort through. I know exactly where things are rather than just throwing them in just one big messy bin. So we'll take a look and see what the forums got to say about them. I did a thing probably 8 months ago or more on these HDX organizers, and I posted it on there. Haven't looked at it in a while. I don't have any idea why anybody would want to pay the prices that Harbor Freight wants when you can get something so much better made quality-wise. Anyway, let me take a look and see if there's any questions. Yeah, well, I agree that another good reason is it not only keeps things organized, but it keeps, your workbench or wherever you're working, cleaned and, not all this stuff scattered around. So, that's the biggest thing for me is to keep all of these little things, organized so that I can reach for them quickly, put this back quickly. I can finish what I'm doing, without, things being thrown all around, especially when it comes to fasteners and small stuff like that. I have one for my lathe also where I put all my pin turning stuff. I make pin sleeves around Christmas time, for giveaways. And so there's lots of small parts that go into pen making. One of these is absolutely perfect. I keep everything categorized in there. I know what I'm low on. I know what I need to order. It's the same thing, with drywall screws, steel screws, with different sizes and finish nails, and, and the bigger construction nails. It just keeps everything well organized. I know what I need to buy. So all the way around, those are my reasons. Somebody commented they like the double locking mechanism. Well, what they mean You have slide locks on the side like you see here in the picture, and you got the two front clasps that come down and they lock too. So yeah, it's a dual locking, I guess you could call it. I like that too. It is a big plus one, you know. So if you accidentally didn't lock the sides, at least if you lock the top, things aren't going to go flying all over the place on you. So yeah, I agree with you. Let me just show you a little bit better idea of what I mean by you can get a lot of things organized. So somebody on the web posted this picture. It's a good one showing the actual use. Give me just a sec. Okay, I stretched this picture out about as far as I can. This is very similar to a setup like I have in my garage. I use both kinds of these storage things. I mean, if you take a look, you'll see here in the rack where these HDX compartment organizers are all stackable. You can stack them up as high as you want. Take a look on the very top shelf there. You'll see those yellow bends. I have those too. Those are for much bigger items for me, and I have a shelf that I have a, you know, like a line of them, and I have them labeled on the front, so I can just reach up. I know what's in there. I grab them. One's marked plumbing, one's marked for electrical, the other's marked, you know, like lathe parts or drill press parts, and I know right where they're at. But those are bigger, bulkier parts. The cases from HDX are fantastic for just smaller items. Here's a little bit more close-up of the pack, and the label is just a light piece of, like, a little bit thicker than paper. Comes right off. Everything's clear, see-through. You're not going to have those problems. The hinges are made out of a much more durable material than the ones that you were going to buy out at Harbor Freight. So I would suggest taking a look at these. Let me take a look at the form, see if there's any more questions here. Okay, somebody's wondering, well, show us the inside. What does it look like? I'll pull it off of the web. Give me one quick sec. Okay, so here it is. You can take a look and see all those orange dividers, the black dividers. You can pull them apart. You can do what you want to, you know, make them bigger compartments or whatever you want to do. It comes in real handy. I mean, because you've got different size things. Sometimes you have small quantities of things. Maybe you want all 20 compartments. Maybe you want less because you have bigger items. So you're able to organize it the way that you want. So do the compartments come all the way out of the box? No, but the dividers you can, like I said, take out, replace, or resize. Do I know if they're going to go on sale, or are they on sale now? I don't know. I know when I'm out at Home Depot, they don't stay on the shelf for very long. Once other people, it's just on an aisle, you know, and it's not like an end aisle. It's not like advertised pricing. It's right out there in front of you at the checkout stand. You go down the aisle and you run across these, I notice they don't stay on the shelf for very long. I was talking with one of the associates because at the time I wanted more than what I was able to get. He told me I'd have to wait till Tuesday when the shipment came in order to get more. And he goes, and when they do, you're right. When people notice that they're here, they tend to disappear fast because they're a good value. Do I think that they're waterproof? No, they're not waterproof. Yes, they're stackable. And do I know the depth? Yeah, it's just a little under 2 inches. I read it off of the reviews, the specifications, a little less than 2 inches in depth. Okay, I see that there's a criticism in here from somebody that works in the construction trades that says his only lasted a couple of months, 2-3 months, and then the plastic began to break on him. He started having problems, you know, with the slides and all this stuff. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, if you're working in the trades, if you're doing garage door installation, any kind of construction, framing, any kind of building, they may not withstand the type of abuse you're going to, you know, put these to. But you can do an Amazon search and you can pay up to $30 and $50 per case for some of the really heavy duty ones. You might have been better off getting those. But for me, in the, you know, the home handyman kind of situation, DIY, you know, hey, look, I make things and sell them for a few bucks, and all of these stay in my garage, and I keep them on a shelf and I stack them. They've lasted a long time. I've had these for some of them for almost 2 years probably. When they went on sale, I don't know, a year or more ago, whatever it was, and I started buying the packs of 2, they've held up really well for me. I don't have any problems with them, but I'm not using them on a daily basis. And like I said, probably abusing them the way that you would in the construction trade. So get up your game plan and pay more money and get, you know, much better ones. But I think for the price point, these are a good buy. Is it totally transparent? No, it's not. It's kind of a faded see-through lid. I don't worry about it that much. I use a Sharpie. I mark on these boxes what's in them, screws, nuts, bolts, you know, and different, you know, different ones. And I know which one I'm grabbing. And I pretty much know what's in there, but I mean, we'll call it semi see-through. That doesn't bother me that much. Like I said, you're getting 2 of them for $10. I have a friend that works in the auto mechanic field now. What he uses them for, he uses them to put tail light lamp bulbs in them, inner lights. He uses them for screws, fuses, special connectors. He bought a connector set that I did a video on. If you take a search on on wire connectors rather, and crimping tools and stuff like that. Well, he buys a lot of them off of the link that I have on my videos on Amazon, and then he puts them into these HDX boxes. And again, he labels them, and he's like a mobile mechanic too. So he's able just to grab these. It stays organized. They stay in one place, like I said, without being thrown around. So they work well for him too. But these, one more time, I think are great to have. They really are, just to keep things, where you want them. The other reason I agree with a comment that's on the forum, a guy said he likes them because they're stackable, meaning stackable. He can keep stacking them up onto a shelf when they're labeled, and it takes up less and less valuable room. And I understand what he means, because my garage, I keep thinking I got to get out there one day and just throw out a lot of stuff because it's become like kind of cluttered or overstocked. And so this is one way, I mean, of being able to keep organized. You can just put them on a shelf and go as high as you want, depending on your shelf height. If I'm stacking these on a shelf, how do I label them? I label them on the handle. I just put a piece of tape on there and I write what's on there. Nuts and bolts, screws, whatever. It's on the handle, and I have a shelf where, it's stacked up and so forth. And I don't know. I mean, that's just the way I do it. I mean, you can do it any way you want, really. For me, like I said, they work great. I didn't want to spend $40, $50. I'm not in the kind of construction trades or whatever where I would need to spend that kind of money on something that just organizes fasteners. I took a shot. I bought the first couple. I went back, and then I finished buying the rest of them because they worked that good for me. It's just your quick tip of the day. You can do an Amazon search if you want something more heavy duty. Otherwise, I'll drop you a link below that takes you to Home Depot. And you can take a look for yourself, see if they'll drop ship them to you. If not, you'll know exactly what they look like when you go out to Home Depot. And you should pick yourself up some. You're going to find them incredibly nice to stay organized. I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you folks enjoyed the quick video here. Just another quick tip of the week. Drop me a comment if you know something better to buy, or if you've got a different experience. I hope you click subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.